Hi art students, today what we're going to go over is the watercolor texture and blending techniques. So give me a few moments and we'll get started today. Down below is my, I'm going to call it my cheat sheet of how to do different watercolor techniques. What you're going to need today includes a bowl of water. You can use, I'm going to recommend your watercolor paint tray. Color pencils are not the best for this because you're missing out. You're going to need a crayon, paper towel, and any kind of paintbrush will work. I would avoid sponge brushes though. First things first, you are going to physically dip your paintbrush in the water. Next, all you're doing, when I say blot, dab, just lightly dab it in the paper towel. You don't want to completely dry it out. To activate the watercolor, you have got to actually have your brush wet and you're going to swirl it over the paint color. Okay, now, dry brush is where you would do this on a texture of a building, boards. I still got a lot of water in here, so it might not show up. Basically, your brush is going to run out of color. It is going to look rough. Here we go, right over the words even. So there's your dry brush texture. Stippling. If you remember, any color that you change, remember, rinse your brush out, blot it on the paper towel. Stippling, okay? I'm gonna choose green. Stippling is what? With shading, dots. Oh look, they look like little trees. Bob Ross is around, I guess. I'm kidding. But look, there's your stippling, okay? I'm gonna keep the same color. I'm gonna put my brush in the water a little bit. Tap the extra in the bowl. Scumbling. Scumbling is a technique where an artist is simply moving around one continuous line. There's one scribble, so it looks like this. Cross hatching, if you remember, I'm gonna change out my color. I'm gonna rinse this, dab it, and chick blue. Okay, what is cross hatching for shading, right? So you're gonna do little X marks. Be sweater pattern. There you go. Now this stuff I'm using was once a liquid. Do not, this is what's too much, okay? You want just a little bit on your brush, a little bit goes farther. Now, I'm gonna rinse out my brush completely for this wet and wet technique. Wet and wet technique can be for oil painting, but also it is for watercolor. You're going to, it sounds silly, paint the box with water first. You're gonna do a little bit of blue or green. You're gonna fill in this space. See how that fills in the space nicely? This means for large areas like water, sky, and or grass or fields. Or if you want like a flat wash, they would call it. Okay, blended wash. I'm gonna rinse on my brush really, really good. Normally I would tell you, I'll use crayon just to show you. We're gonna do a leaf from a tree. Okay, there's a leaf. You're gonna paint it, dab it, yellow. I'm gonna activate the color. Okay, here's yellow. Now if I wanted to blend colors, yellow is easy to mix with either red or blue, correct? Those are primaries, you get secondary. So, we're going to blend it here. Okay, there is the blended wash. Next technique, I'm going to switch from that yellow red. When you got yellow and red, you make orange. So there you go, there's your blended color of the leaf. Hatching. I'm going to switch to green. If you remember, I'm going to do a couple different lines to show you what this is, all right? So hatching can be a series of lines that are either vertical, that was horizontal by the way, this is vertical, or diagonal. So if you've got a pattern clothing, grass blades, this would be a good technique for that. Wax resist, we're going to wash out our brush completely. I asked you to get a crayon. This crayon, I'm going to do a shape. I'm going to shade dark and heavy. I always told you this is similar to Easter egg dyeing if you've ever had that experience at home. If not, you're going to understand this. Okay, orange crayon. I'm going to dip my brush in water, get a little bit of color on this, it's still wet. Then we're going to go over this. Here's see what's happening. It's wax, right? Resists water. There you go, now you know. Okay, rubber cement, I'm gonna skip today. This is a technique where you would put glue down. It's a type of glue. Let it dry, you paint over it, and then you peel it back up, and that leaves that area white, okay? Lifting. I'm gonna take this color blue still, I'm not washing it out. I'm gonna paint this area blue. Let's say I went too dark, or I got too much blue. Okay. What you can do is take your paper towel, bunch it up, and blot. And lift. So now it's not, you got some of the color on the paper towel. Salt I don't have, but what it does is, if you paint it, sprinkle it, it gives it like a grain texture. Last but not least is plastic wrap. Plastic wrap is like the stuff that we cover your paint trays. I'm gonna get something in a minute, give me 1 minute. There's a couple more things I can show you today. One is this plastic wrap. You're going to literally, I should not have dumped that, but that's fine. I'm gonna activate purple. I'm gonna paint purple. Do a couple things. I'm gonna paint half this and paint half the plastic wrap. There, we're gonna flip it. Do two things. I'm gonna push this and scrunch this up, and I'm gonna lift it. Another way to do texture, sky stuff, things like that. One last thing I'm gonna show you. Sky, right? Use watercolor pencils. And how you know the difference? Crayola is wonderful. It'll say right on here, watercolor, okay? And it has paintbrush. That's purple or violet. Well, it was. Maybe it's an indigo blue. Maybe I got two purples going. That's fine. I'm gonna overlap something with shading. Then, there we go. Now, one more thing. There's your sky. What if I did some trees? You could blend this too to get color value. A little bit here. Some people are doing pine trees, people doing some other stuff. If you had snow on this, you would not shade this dark. You would leave some spots white. Worst case scenario, if it's dry, we can put a little bit of acrylic paint on this. But, give me 1 more minute. So, remember how I always say the sky doesn't stop? It's kind of true. So you're gonna keep coloring this blue all the way down this tree. If you wanted to make snow, I'm gonna use orange, but this goes for a white crayon if I find it. Make some snowflakes. They will show up as white if you use white. I'm using orange just to show you what it does. Okay, here we go. You're gonna activate, find my paintbrush. Remember, dip this in water, blot it. I had a purple, I didn't wash it out completely, so I'm gonna start up here. Show you what blending looks like with a colored pencil. So, if you get a ton of water, this is what happens. You can kind of blend a little bit easier. If you have heavy water, heavy color, that's the difference. See how this is light and that's really heavy shaded? There you go. I'm gonna dip this here. Blot it. We're gonna go over. See how that crayon really pops out? Last but not least is this tree. I'm gonna wash the brush out really good. If you swap color, especially from a yellow to purple, you're gonna make a brown gray. This is what it looks like. I let this dry, you can go back in, or sometimes students are smart and they'll let it when it's wet, you can't shade heavily, you can blend in and make some areas lighter with a yellow. Or if you want to make it more like an evergreen. I don't think I have a purple or a blue right now, but I do have purple. Where's the blue? Here's indigo. Darken it. If your paper is shredding, that's a good example. It means too much water. That's all that I have for today. for at least showing you guys what to do. But thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps with your watercolor projects.